I guess I should have known as soon as that particular gremlin hatched, it wouldn't shut up until I did something to correct these window frames. So, to that end, I've been fabricating inserts for each window frame. Top of the top row, I just started by cutting out a piece of 60,000 styrene. I cut it out and fabricated it to make it work as if I'm completely plugging up the opening, completely sealing it off. I need to make sure that it's flush on the inside because it's still got to mate up with the existing glass. And then, having done that, look, I don't even have to hold it in place. I'll just cut out that outlined area and then glue the pieces in place and shape them the way we need them. Finish it off. And then do the same thing with the bottom here. I did notice one little correction a person could make if they wanted to. In the film version, this body line here merges with the bottom of this frame here, and this flat section extends further aft to fall off the edge of the boat. You can see it in the set photos and on the you can see it on the model photos. I'm going to go ahead and finish these up to round these off a little better and build up the top edges along here a little better, and just generally finish it up a little more. And then of course I'm going to have to do the same thing with the inside molding. That might be even a little trickier. That's thinner. That's probably closer to 30 thousandths. But I think I have 30 thousandths. I think. So we will see how that goes. As you can see, I've more or less completed the window modifications. You should be able to tell from the color of the styrene where I've filled in. And you can tell where I still have to fill in with some milliput. Ground this out a little bit while filling this in. Had to build up these rails entirely because there was nothing here. The bottom window frames I didn't modify at all. All I did was re-bevel them so that the bevel slants in toward the window at more or less right angle, the way it's supposed to. And of course, obviously, because I did that to the outside, I also had to modify the inside section. I'm sorry I didn't record any of this. It was just a lot of boring templating and cutting and carving and shaping and gluing and tedious stuff like that. But the two pieces fit together exactly the way we need them to. Now, you're probably thinking, yeah, they fit together like that, but what about with the window in place? You know, that's a good question. I haven't test fitted it with the window yet. Where is my window? I think I have it right here. Here's the window. Of course, going to make sure that the mating surfaces are completely smooth and unobstructed so that the kit window will go in the way it's supposed to. Just like that. And with this down on top of it. And everything kind of clamped together. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Daddy like. Yeah. In case you're wondering, the window is just slightly over 40 thousandths of an inch in thickness. So I'm going to use 40 thousandths styrene as shims around the window frames here to give me enough separation between those two sections so that I can blend them into the ceiling section, because now it has to be blended into the ceiling. Are we having fun yet? So I did some measuring and some tracing out and some adjusting a little bit, and I have come to the conclusion that if, with a little bit of molding and a little bit of shaping, I can create a perfectly straight line running down the side here on both sides to join these sections, and they'll join flush. So that's going to be exciting to get started on. But one thing I did notice is I had to build up these lower edges in order to keep from cutting all the way through when I cut the bevel on the window sections on this side. I just about did cut all the way through. For all practical purposes, I did cut all the way through. But I had built it up with this styrene so that it wouldn't fall apart when I did. The problem is this now conflicts with this window laying flat on the passenger section. It's not going to sit flat, and it is going to prevent the two hull sections from coming together cleanly. So I need to shave that all off again. But before I do that, I'm going to build it up on the inside to keep it together and to bring it up a little closer to the edge of the upper hull. Just set that right here. Then this and this should line up a little better. So we'll see how that works. I thought I could join these lines together in more or less straight lines in symmetrical positions. And after quite a bit of cutting and grinding and shaping and gluing and recutting and reshaping and regluing, I did it. When these two sections go together, when I'm ready to assemble the thing, it is going to, I think, look a little bit awesome. We've completed our modification of the inside window frame. Got everything squared off, all of the lines relatively straight, all of the seams hidden on the inside surface. On the backside surface, I wasn't quite so diligent about hiding the defects because they're not going to be seen anyway. They're going to be pressed up against the glass and hidden by the window frame. But with a bit of effort and a bit of patience, I got those two sections to come together very satisfactorily. I think that will work out well. I've added some detail, a little bit of detail here to the ceiling fixture. There's no corresponding detail over on this side, but this is where the ladder will end up. And as far as this emergency light in the back, I debated running an LED to that, but it's not the kind of thing that would be normally illuminated with the rest of the boat anyway, so I'm going to do something a little different with that. As far as the wall sections fitting together. You should go just like that, with the rear wall lining up and seating in just like so. Everything should fit just the way we need it. Here at the rear is where we're going to hide our electrical connection. What we have in mind for the electrical connection is this little gem that I found on a Alibaba, I think. No, AliExpress. Where did I find this? Yeah, where did I buy these? I think I found these on a website on AliExpress. Anyway, for our electrical connection for the ring lights, we have this. I got a set of these pogo connectors. They're magnetic contact connectors. This one goes here in the ceiling assembly, just like so. It presses in so that it's flush across. Just like so. Protrudes a little bit, but that's all right. That's actually by design, because the other half is going to go inside the restyled cabinet I built. This cabinet, the kit cabinet, is incorrect in scale, so I just built a new one, and by a remarkable coincidence, the new one accommodates the other half of my pogo switch, if I can get it in there. Okay, man. Just the way we need it to, just like so. There we go. Get that all super glued so that it doesn't move. And that way, when this is in position, and the walls are brought together like so, this, I think I got them backward. I did get them backward. Huh. Oh well, that's all right. Flip them around. Okay. That's why I painted two of the terminals red, and I got them switched around so that you can catch that sort of thing. Anyway, the two magnets, the two halves of the magnetic connector come together in between the cabinet and the ceiling, and then when the top is lifted off, they will separate, and of course the ring lamp will go out, and then the next time they're reassembled, it will illuminate again. So that's what we've been building up to this point, is making sure that those walls come together straight so that those electrical connectors will line up. Now, how do we know that our walls are lined up correctly, the way we're going to want them? By once again taking our interior tub and very carefully lowering it into position. And if the tabs go into the slots, we're lined up. Oh, I wasn't expecting it to do that. After a number of delays and distractions and a tiny bit of foot dragging on my part, I finally got the window frames molded in the way they should be. I'm not crazy about the way this outer edge comes down around and merges with this inner window frame edge. It doesn't look right to me. It looks clunky and clumsy and graceless. But the problem is I couldn't think of a nicer way to do it, or a better way to do it. I just went ahead and replicated the way it appears on the studio models. And of course I filled in around the edges here, finished rounding those off. I blended these lines into the hull a little better. I cut down this upward sweep here and blended these edges into the hull a little better, and I think that's a definite improvement. I filled in this little detail at the front to round that off the way it should be. I don't know yet whether these two sides are really even the way they need to be. I won't know that until I get some primer on it. Before I prime it or paint it, I'm going to soften these edges just a bit so that the primer and the paint take a little better. So the next time you see it, it will probably be gray. As promised. I had mentioned I thought next time you saw this it would probably be primed, and here it is. I have the forward line reshaped a little closer to what it's supposed to be. I'm quite pleased with how well I was able to blend this in. I was expecting a lot more trouble than I encountered. The windows are reshaped to my satisfaction. I think that turned out really well. So I'm at the point where I can set this aside for a little while.